So, good evening, everyone. So, today we are here for the podcast. We will be discussing the phases we face in the HR field. So, today we have our guest Ishan. So, first of all, I would like to ask him what his company is and for how long he has been working for the same profession.
Yes, guys, thank you for having me here. First of all, I work in Securitas as a HR professional, and I've been working there for like 2 years now. I joined at an entry level position, and yes, this is quite an interesting field, and I would actually encourage lots of people who are doing business management course and HR courses to join this field at an entry level position. It is a really prospering field to grow your career with.
Okay, so to continue with, can you please describe more what your roles and responsibilities are?
Yeah, sure. So pretty much normal things. So the basic fundamental of HR field is to maintain proper relations in an office, and I'm basically involved in the process of hiring and firing, and as well as in maintaining labor relations as well. So when a person applies for the job, I'm the one who takes the interview, and it's my decision to hire him or not. And unfortunately, if things go south, I'm the one who actually passed the message to the guy that we cannot continue with you anymore in the future. Good luck. So yeah, that's the basic thing which I do in the office, and I've been involved in this process for like 2 years now.
So thank you. That sounds challenging. Now, to continue with, I would like to ask Herman to ask you in depth and
Yeah.
continue this conversation.
Yeah.
Sure.
So first of all, my question is with you is like Securitas operates in a unionized environment. So how does your role as an HR professional differ in this setting compared to a non-unionized workplace?
So basically, in a non-unionized place, we can actually make changes to our policies. But where I work in a unionized environment, so my basic responsibility is to maintain those policies and work as closely as possible with the unionized culture, and also managing relations of my staff and between the union as well. And also, it's actually a quite challenging field when you step in for the first time. But as you get used to it, it's actually something which you start having fun with. So managing people is one of the most important thing in this field.
Yeah, that's a great answer, I
Because
guess.
it sounds challenging and as well as a fun way to deal with
Yeah.
in this field, right?
Yes.
So, Taran, what's your take? Do you want to ask or add anything to that? Now, to continue with, can you please tell us more about the roles and responsibilities that has to be fulfilled for an HR professional?
Yeah, so pretty much normal things. So the basic fundamental of HR field is to maintain proper relations in an office, and I'm basically involved in the process of hiring and firing, and as well as in maintaining labor relations as well. So when a person applies for the job, I'm the one who takes the interview, and it's my decision to hire him or not. And unfortunately, if things go south, I'm the one who actually passed the message to the guy that we cannot continue with you anymore in the future. Good luck. So yeah, that's the basic thing which I do in the office, and I've been involved in this process for like 2 years now.
So, thank you. That sounds challenging. Now, so thank you for that answer. I'm sure it sounds challenging. So now, to continue it, I would like to ask Herman to continue this conversation and ask whatever he wants to ask you.
So yeah. So first of all, my question is with you is like Securitas operates in a unionized environment. So how does your role as an HR professional differ in this setting compared to a non-unionized workplace?
So basically, in a non-unionized place, we can actually make changes to our policies. But where I work in a unionized environment, so my basic responsibility is to maintain those policies and work as closely as possible with the unionized culture, and also managing relations of my staff and between the union as well. And also, it's actually a quite challenging field when you step in for the first time. But as you get used to it, it's actually something which you start having fun with. So managing people is one of the most important thing in this field.
Yeah, that's a great answer, I guess.
Well, it sounds challenging and as well as a fun way to deal with,
Yeah.
in this field, right?
Yes.
So, Taran, what's your take? Do you want to ask or add anything to that?
So, Ishan, how do you maintain a positive working relationship between management and the union while ensuring company policies are high?
Yeah. So I would say communication in this area would be the key factor. So basically, what I do is to hold proper meetings if there's something wrong going on in the office, and as an HR, it's your responsibility to actually manage the whole management staff to comply with all the policies which you have created in order to make the environment in such a way that everyone who works in the office actually gets comfortable and doesn't face any challenges as far as the key the basic requirement of an office is concerned.
Yeah, that's good.
So from the conversation we had, I point out like you mentioned a point where you had to resolve the conflicts. So from the same, can you walk us through an incident when you had to resolve a conflict between the management and the union, and what was your role there, how you handled it, and what was the outcome of it?
Yeah, so the instance which comes to my mind, so I remember since I work with the security company, so I remember there was a security guard who actually had some health issues or something. So he actually filed for some leaves. So the thing was that we actually gave him those leaves. Was like something like 5 days or 6 days. Then what happened was he actually called up and said that I need some more leaves. So we asked him. His manager actually asked him to provide the notice from the doctor that this guy won't be able to work for coming few days. So he actually refused. So what happened was when he actually returned to the work, we had his manager and him as well so we actually held a meeting with his manager and the guy who actually went on leave. Basically that the manager wanted to fire that guy because of he actually thought that this guy is actually lying, but he actually explained everything that this is what I was going through. He had an issue with his back. So as a HR, it was my responsibility to come up with the solution. Whatever happened. As it's actually quite difficult to manage two people if someone wants something other than the other person. Like that guy wanted to work and his manager wanted to fire him. It was my responsibility to
So basically,
make
like
those
you were trying
guys work together
Yeah.
and to come in the middle point. So what I did, I actually spoke to those guys. I actually told the manager that please, if you can, just give him last chance or give him a warning or something. And I actually told the guy who went on leave that this would be your last chance and this shouldn't be repeated in future. So so these things happen quite a lot in my field. And so this is just one of the instances which I remember. So a lot of these things happen on daily basis. So things like
Basically, he's
this.
a good HR.
Yeah,
To be honest.
definitely.
Because
So,
many of the employees
as
are
I-
scared of the HR
yes,
because when the issue gets escalated to the HR, they are like basically scared that they're gonna fire them instantly, right?
So there's a saying about HR field that HR is like a mother and a boss is like a father. So boss orders something and he needs that thing to be done.
By-
HR actually manipulates thing to happen in the office environment. So this
Yeah,
is.
you explained really well. Like even I remember, I used to work for this retail store. So we had some kind of medical insurance from the union, but like it's a long story. But in short, there was this guy who got injured out of the site, but just to claim the insurance, he filed like I was my toe was twisted while I was at work, so it went on. Then HR got involved. This guy, he contacted his union. He said like I have this my right. Then the one person, then he got mail from the union. So it was really tough for our HR, but he had adequate evidence to prove that they have done their job right. So I got it like what you were trying to say, and I feel like that's how it should be handled, and you handled it perfectly.
Yeah.
So now again, Herman.
So I have one more question to continue. So basically, Securitas employees are covered under a collective agreement. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how does an HR ensure compliance with its terms while the balancing operational needs? How do you do that?
So basically, HR should be well versed about the contracts, and he's actually the one who actually trains the supervisors to align with the policies and the terms which are being set in the office. And also the thing is that if something comes up, he's the one who actually contacts the legal or I can say counsel if there's any uncertainty about any contracts, and if a certain person is not able to comply with that policy, he's the one who actually manages it and gets the solution, and manage everything as far as this situation is concerned.
Okay. Well, that's a like brief answer to my question, right?
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
like it is important. I guess that's
Yeah.
the reason we have these courses: labor relation and operational health
It
and
should
safety.
be, yes.
Yeah.
So HR should be responsible to actually teach teach every supervisors about the labor laws and the things which work around it. So yes, this is also a main part of what I can say of in this field, in HR field. The thing is that if you don't know the labor laws, you won't be able to teach the supervisors. Hence, it can lead to a conflict situation, which would be even more difficult for a HR to resolve.
Very well said.
Yeah.
So as we were talking about like starting our career in the same field, a lot of people say like LinkedIn does help. So what's your take on it?
Well, it can be subjective, to be honest. Some people they have gotten help from LinkedIn, some people they have not. There are different ways you can land a job, right? So you can either get it through LinkedIn, Indeed. There are various platforms for it. But then again, it comes down how you build relationship with people on LinkedIn. So you can send requests, you can send messages, you can tell them what you have done, what experiences you have, what you are willing to do. So things like this can help you to land a job if you get in contact with the recruiter of a specific company. So I would just say that if you get contacted, just be proactive. Just focus on building relationships, and I think ensuring compliance will be the key, will be the absolute key in this field. So these are some of the steps which you can take as a HR, or like if you are saying how to land a job. So this is actually a general thing that just get in contact with right people, and just start building relationships. That's for any field,
I have
not
just
only HR.
I have an out of the box question. Like,
Yes.
so HR, are HR also active on LinkedIn? Because I've seen many of my friends contacting
Yes.
HRs and getting they're actually landing jobs. They have a word with an HR before even applying
Yes.
to a certain job,
Yeah,
and they guide them. Actually.
Yes, they do. They tell them what changes you need in your resumes, and what the other. They also suggest you about some certifications and everything.
Yeah.
So if you do those certifications, if you make those changes in your resume, it might help you. But what I've mentioned in my previous point, that the points which I've mentioned to be a good HR, so just follow those steps. And yes, you are right that people do help you. You land a job on LinkedIn. It's just it depends on how dedicated you are. Sometimes you might not get an answer from them, but then it depends on your dedication. It depends on how badly you want the job. So you keep messaging them. You keep messaging various people. If you message 100 people, at least I would say 5 of them would give you a reply for sure. So those are that's the ratio. So just be dedicated. As a new graduate person, I know the challenges which I faced. So I'm talking with that experience. So just don't give up, and just be dedicated in this, and just keep focusing on the points which I've mentioned, and keep building relationships with people, even in real life as well as on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So these are the steps which you can take.
And just last question, and that's going to be the last. Step. So basically, I work with Rogers as a sales associate, right? So there was a meeting with the HR professionals, right? So they were sharing their experiences. So there was this one time in my company, actually, one at HR fired an HR because he was not following the protocols as we were discussing, right? Because there is a process.
The favorism.
Yeah. So basically, he had some personal relationship with a co-fellow
Okay.
and with a co-worker, and so I don't know what he has done at that moment, but he was not following the procedures that should be done in the Rogers company, right? And so he didn't fire that guy. He actually pulled all the burden of that guy and put it on another. So he was basically framing another guy to protect his guy. So there was this protocol, right? As we have discussed,
Yes,
he was
yes.
not
So
following the same
In
protocol.
the previous point, I was actually mentioning this, that we have to be fair, we have to follow the same process and everything. There's certain order which needs to be followed. If such a thing takes place, so there has to be a action which needs to be taken, right? So so in a company like Rogers, there are many HRs. There's no, like in our company, there are only 2 HRs.
Yeah.
And then if you talk about Rogers, so the magnitude of the company, right, is huge.
Yeah.
So you need many HRs to handle each and every situation. So there's a HR for hiring and firing. There's a HR for labor laws and everything. There's a HR for maintaining relationships and everything.
Like there is
So,
also departmentalization
Yes,
between the
there's
right?
there are different departments. So this thing can happen. Yes. it's
Yeah.
true.
So like what you were discussing, you see the story.
Yeah.
So what I can take away from it is like 2 things. The first thing is like if you are feeling that you are being treated like not equally, and it can be any case as you mentioned.
Yeah.
So the thing is you can take the help of your union. You can go to your union. That's
Yeah.
what like that's what union is all about. Like
That's what union is all about.
if
That's
you are
true.
if you're like you're feeling discriminated or anything, or if you are saying like rules are not being followed, you can go to your union. Your union can raise their voice, and the things can get back on the track. The second thing is that's how a union can help you. Another thing is if HR is not doing what he should be doing, he should be doing he should be fair for everyone. But if he is not doing the same, the company like for Rogers, they can set up a system, or they can place some people to make sure that if anyone has any complaint, it can be anonymous, so that they are free to like whatever they want to speak about. And so that's
Talking about anonymous, what can I say, associate at my store, right? So if anything happens between the associates, we have a star hotline call. So in that star hotline, we can call HR, and it's like a confidential call. They're not gonna ask my name, they're not gonna ask my number, not gonna ask my badge ID and something. It's just an anonymous call from my side to a HR, and then they're gonna investigate on the case, that whether if it's true or not. If it's not true, then they're gonna who called the.
There's a
star
process
hotline.
for that also.
Yeah.
That grievance process. So first there's an informal discussion between the employer and the supervisor.
Okay.
Alright, so where the employer discusses a specific problem. Then the thing is that it goes to the formal grievance submission. So in this step, union comes into union actually gets to know about the situation. So and if nothing happens, then the third step in this situation would be investigation and response, like you were saying.
Yeah.
So now they would see what the response is. They'll they'll start the investigation and everything. And then the thing is, if still it's not resolved, then they'll just contact the higher management, right? And then the step follows after that as well.
Yeah, so basically that's what my next question was about to be. You answered it. So same thing, like previously I worked with a security company. It was Paragon. It's kind of similar to Securitas.
Yes.
They are well-known companies in Canada.
Yeah.
So we had a similar sort of grievances program where you can reach out different people. Even if you are not satisfied, there are specific people for that. So I mean, companies in Canada, because of the labor laws and union laws, the employees are protected, and we should feel good about it. Because
Of course,
after
that's one of the best
yeah,
parts about Canada.
yeah,
The labor laws is really very solid when it comes to the protection of a labor. It's really nice compared to third world countries or second world countries. A country like Canada, does a very good job in this.
yeah, it does.
So every country needs to follow the major steps, the process which Canada has. So yeah, you're
Exactly,
right,
like
you're right.
yeah, if you compare the laws, everything, like you said, third world country. Let's just take example of India, Bangladesh.
Yeah, I've seen. I previously worked in a country called Botswana. It's actually it falls between South Africa and Zimbabwe.
Okay.
I did an internship in a company, so I've seen changes. I've experienced those changes here in Canada. Like what used to happen there, it's not the same case here.
Yeah, I
There,
think
there's a lot of difference.
yeah, I think
in
your
how-
born was also in Botswana, right? You were born in
No,
Botswana.
I was born in
You
India.
should like tell a little bit
Yeah.
more about it.
Yeah.
Because
so-
you have like different companies' experience. Some of your
How-
experience
so
comes in
in
Botswana.
let's just start like how you started. What was your schooling,
Mm.
and then how you growed up, and what made you pursue a career in HR, or
Yeah.
what other fields have you like tried, or what was in your mind when you?
So initially I did my schooling from India, and then in 2016 I left India. We shifted as a family to Botswana due to business purpose, and then over there I did my graduation in business management. Well, I did specialization as well in strategic management. So in that course, HR was also involved. So when I decided to come to Canada, I took HR as my field, and I decided to grow in this field. And I did my post graduation in HR, Human Resource Management and Business Management here in Canada. So that was a post graduation diploma. And then after I joined the company which I'm working for, Securitas. So yeah, so the things which so when I was doing my graduation in Botswana, I got involved in an internship. So over there, I wouldn't name the company. Over there, some things which were going on over there. I actually personally didn't like those things because of how things were dealt. But then when I experienced the same situation in Canada, when I started working for this company, there's a lot of difference. That's when I said there's a difference between Canada and other countries like second world country. Botswana is a second world country and a third world country. There's something which I've experienced personally. That's why I'm saying that.
So what major difference did you feel when you work as an intern in
so
Botswana
the
and
thing
Canada?
is that how they used to. So basically, I was actually only an intern, so my contribution wasn't that much. But then it just gave me an opportunity to observe how the HR world works. So what I have experienced there, that the management of people was done in a manner which if it's done here, it shouldn't be considered. It should be considered inappropriate, to be honest.
Okay.
Some things were when I said that there has to be order, there has to be a process, and there should be no discrimination. In a country like Botswana, racism is a major factor. So I will
think
not
that's not
specify
because of the diverse culture.
I'll not because of the
That's
diverse
just-
culture.
Because
So
diversity
So I
is
will
not that
not
much
specify
possible.
the incident which took place, but it happened. It actually something really something happened with me, and the thing is that I actually didn't like that. So I reported that thing to my supervisor, and then necessary steps were taken. But such a thing wouldn't happen here in Canada because of the culture. The culture of Canadian workplace is really nice if we compare to other countries.
Okay, so like what like here we have the option. We have unions. Like if you're not heard, you can go to union.
Yes.
There are specific
Yes.
programs. Like people here, like we have a subject where we have like total reports, where
Mhm.
we are basically it's a stimulation, it's a software. So basically we are HR in a digital world online, and we are managing everything. So there we have seen like we have budget, and we have different factors. So we have a specific head where we have to allot a specific like a good decent amount of budget for the grievances program. So in Canada, you have that thing,
Of
and then
course.
you have union as well.
You have unions.
So what about your experience back then in South Africa? So was there any union?
The company which I worked for, there was no union. There was the unionization of a workplace is something which I have experienced in Canada itself. I did not even know about such a thing in Botswana. Well, yes, there is a complaint box which you have. If you're facing something, then it goes to the higher management, and it's not the same as
It's just a
Canada.
fake, you will say.
Yeah, it's just.
But I think that's in
something
every
which is,
company. It totally depends on the
yes.
HR whether they're going to
No,
change
but
or
it's-
not, right?
I feel it's about the country and
Yeah.
the union
Yes.
and the programs what they offer.
But it totally depends upon the HR. Are they going to check that mailbox or not? Because in some companies, most of their mailbox are like up to
It's,
that point where you
something which I
cannot
would
even
call
add.
pathetic. It's redundant, to be honest. Those things, but in Canada, there's a proper system. There's a proper union which handles everything, which handles such a situation. That's why I'm saying that the environment in Canadian workplace is really nice, and it needs to be followed by other countries as well.
So just to we have dived deep into it.
Yes.
Just to get so I would like to ask you how HR profession is in terms of salary compensation, because we are studying it. I mean, we all need your guidance. Should we pursue it? What are the things we should do, and what are the no's?
What should be in consideration?
Yeah, so a
Well,
little about the profession.
That's-
Talking about the real world, not
Yeah, so
that we study.
The
And
thing is that if you take study into consideration, like I've done BBA, then I've done postgraduate diploma. So the thing is that I also did certifications in HR before I got the job, before I landed this job.
CHRP.
CHRP.
Yeah.
So I did that certification, and it's really necessary. And the thing is that it actually gives you a lead from those people who haven't done the certification. Like you have done something extra, so the company which is hiring you would take that into notice, right?
Exactly.
Obviously, they would hire more intellectual person, more experienced person. But the thing is that if you have done the certification, they would know that yeah, this guy has some knowledge, and if given an opportunity, if he does everything in appropriate manner, he can be an asset for the company, right?
Exactly.
So this is what company sees when hiring a HR or when hiring a person in HR field. So yeah, so talking about the salaries, you can start as low as 40K in Canada. That's what
Okay.
I've seen in the job market.
that's an entry level, right?
That's an entry level, yes. That's an entry level. So 40K is somewhere around will begin, and then
It's up to you. How
it's up to you how you grow, how you change field. Actually, there are various fields in HR as well. So some fields in HR pay you more than the other field, right? And then it also basically depends on the experience.
Yeah.
As you are getting experience, you are getting more valued by the company, and then you can actually demand from the company, this is the salary which will have me in your company.
Okay.
So yeah. So,
And one more thing, we have a professor. Her name is Tessa. So she was in HR for a long period of time. But after doing the same thing for I guess 30 years, we had a chat about it, and then she changed her field. She was a HR, hardcore HR for I don't remember the company at the moment. But later on, she shifted towards teaching. Now she's a teacher. So in that conversation, she mentioned HR is a tough job. It's not as easy or as fancy as it seems, because a lot of people they have myth in their mind that HR is an easy job. You don't have much to do. So later on, she mentioned that she has seen people diverting into different sectors as well. So how about you? How do you feel about it? Do you see yourself doing the same thing in long term, or do you have other plans?
well, personally, first of all, she's a much more learned person than me.
Yeah.
I'm relatively really new in this field. She has worked for 30 years, so yes, if she has taken the step, obviously she must have gone through a certain thought process. So the thing is, if I talk about myself, as of now, the thing is, I want to work in this field, and talking about the difficulty level of being an HR, well, it's quite tough. I'll be honest with you, because some things which I have experienced. Basically, the most important and the most difficult part of HR field would be managing people. So management of the people would be number one priority of a HR. This is where, it'll be decided that you'll be a good HR or not. The other things you can learn, the labor laws and everything, every other theory you can learn about HR. But that's something which I think which is built in.
Yeah, that's like
Management of people.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you learn
Yeah.
after a period of
That's
time. After
that's not actually what you learn. That's what it's built in.
okay.
So HR, this is what my belief is. I can be wrong, but HR, I think only some people can do. As a HR, you should have patience. Okay, you should be focused on maintaining relations, and in that process, patience is really important. If you're not patient, you lose your patience quite often. That's where the problem occurs.
Yeah, and talking about the management as we are talking about it, right? So I have just like one more question for like HR. Does how does a performance like on the every employee has a different performance level, right? And does HR also helps them encouraging their performance, or does HR also helps in performance management? Are there any challenges in implementing that or not?
So yes, there is. Well, the thing is that some employees can think that they are getting less salary than the people who they are working with, and this is something which a HR needs to manage, right? And then the thing is that how you manage that process, that's what actually makes you a HR. Like what I said, managing people and everything. So making them understand why you are getting paid this much and why that person is getting paid that much is what you need to be a HR.
But
Okay.
don't you think that totally depends upon the employee's performance as how
It also
much
depends
he
on the
or she-
performance.
yeah.
Yes, that's true. That's from the perspective of the management, but that's not the same perspective
Oh,
employee
that's-
has.
Okay.
Right, employee must be thinking that yeah, he's doing everything right, he's doing everything top notch and all that. But that's what I said, that it's your job to make him understand the perspective of the management. That why
What they are expecting from them.
yes,
and
what
how-
they're how you can improve. That's also
Yeah.
the part, right? You can tell them that this is what you need to do to get more salary or to get paid more. So yes, this is what the thing is.
Okay.
And I've also seen that HR also provides training and development sessions, coaching classes. If like in my like or talking about also Rogers again, sorry about that. Because if some employee is not performing well, like in our job we have to like do sales, right? I'm not achieving my target. I'm not achieving my goals of the company. So my manager gives me to an HR session, and in that HR session, HR asks me about how like on which areas I'm lacking. So they put me on coaching classes. They gave me round to round sessions about the products and everything. They also trained me about the products again. So are these also happens in the security as is the union
You
company,
mean in
right?
the security
Yeah,
companies.
security company. So and personally at your level, have you given someone a coaching or like in a training development session in that?
I would say that not in a security company. I haven't experienced such a thing. But then again, it's another challenge in the HR field to manage the business in accordance with the collective agreement. So the thing is that if you're going under a specific training for as you said sales, right? So if you're going under a training, so major things would be to see if the training is conducted properly, the manner which the training is conducted in, also what the result a company is achieving from the training. Is the employee is actually able to apply all the training, all the learnings from the training to the results which a company is getting. So that's the main part. So if that happens, the process of conducting the training has been done really well.
Okay.
So to get the results from it is what to get the result from the training would actually be a part of, I would say, that how successful the training has been.
True, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Makes
So
sense.
like I've worked, as I mentioned before, I've worked for Paragon. It's a security company, so I can relate to you. What I feel is like hiring someone is quite easy. Like when you
Yeah,
inform
no.
someone you are hired, like it's like they get happy.
Yeah.
But to on the contrary side, like if you have to deliver the bad news, how
Yeah.
it is for you? Cause at the end you're a human. You know, like it's not gonna be easy for you.
So talking about getting or landing various jobs. So I think it's going to be a personal question. So how did you land up this job? Like what procedures did you follow? How did you connect to HR? How did you find out about the job?
Yeah, so in my case, I actually just applied online, and then my resume got picked. So I was called for the interview. There were like 2 rounds for it, and then they told me that you are good to go. I would say, yeah. So I mean, there can be different ways, as I said before as well, to land a job. Just be well spoken, just work on your communication skills and the points which I've mentioned previously. Just follow those steps and you'll be good to go. I'd say, just be dedicated that you have to find a job. It's like just tell yourself that yes, I'm applying, I'll get 100 job. I won't get the first job. Just follow this process. It'll be easier for you. So yeah.
Just be yourself.
Just be
Yeah.
yourself, yes, and just work on yourself. Just work on your communication skills. Just work on your relationship building skills and negotiation skills. So these are some of the skills which you need as a HR.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
to sum up, I would say like the key takeaway were the first is HR is not as easy or as simple job we think
As it sounds.
as it sounds.
Yeah.
People
Another-
perceive it in a very different manner, but it's a really different job. Like once you do it, you are the one who actually knows what the process needs to be followed, what development you need to do within yourself to be good at this job. So it's challenging, but then I would say take challenge as an opportunity to grow. Right? If you'll face a challenge and you'll back yourself down, you won't be able to grow yourself in this field. Honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, to be honest, most of the people pursue this career of HR because I think that it is easy. But
Every
as
job
you
has
have told,
its own challenges.
Yeah.
Some people think that this job is easy. Some people think that job is easy, but no
Yeah.
job is easy. It's only when you get better with jobs, it
Yeah.
might seems to be easy, but it's not.
yeah, but learning from your experience, it sounds like that it's a very diverse, very diverse job, and
so
you have
there
many
are-
responsibilities
yes,
upon you.
yes, there are many. What I can say, HR itself is a very diverse field. So yeah, there are many. What I can say is many. There are actually various number of ways for you to grow. So
Yeah.
you can go in any with sector.
Yeah, and like from our experience and as well as your experience, we've been to like 3 different countries. We should feel safe because of the Canadian laws,
Yeah. sure.
and like it's much easier to work here, and it's hard. Like it's easy for the employees, but HR has to do a lot. It has to comply with the union and the management, but
Ensuring compliance would be
Yeah.
the key.
that's the correct term, I would say. And like we should be grateful, like we are here. It will be easier for us to work, and thanks to you for your time.
No,
It
it's-
was a great conversation.
Yeah,
We-
thank you so much for
Yeah,
having me,
no problem.
Shani.
I mean, we appreciate you, and
We appreciate the learning and coming from experience.
It's
It was
a good journey.
yeah, you struggle, and you are at a good stage, I would say now, and we wish you luck for the future.
Thank you.
And we are like quite sure you'll do great, and we'll try to follow up. And even if we need any help further,
For
we
sure.
are kind of
We'll connect you to like
yeah, we'll try
and you
to
can
we'll try to stay connected.
Sure.
It was a great talking to you.
It was
Hope
great.
we'll-
Thank you for having
Yeah,
me.
so
Yeah,
like
thank you.
I hope we'll have some great time off camera as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
sure.
Yeah. So
Thank
that
you.
was our time, guys. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for listening to this podcast, and I hope this was full of information for you guys, and I hope you learned something from this podcast. And thank you so much for your time.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.